accounts. We have a TD Bank money market account. Do you want me to keep the balances private at this time, Steve, or are they public knowledge?
It's all public knowledge, Tim.
So there's a balance of $1,653,707.43. The account is paying 15/100ths%. Is that correct, Rob? Am I reading that correctly? It's not 1%, it's 15/100ths%. The Citizens Bank has offered, now that's a TD Bank account. Citizens Bank is offering an investment account similar to the one the town has at a current rate of 0.5%. So, I mean, that is a fourfold increase, even if we only go to 0.5%. There's a sewer cap account with the Citizens Bank, has a balance of $655,427.22. Once again, this account is only paying 0.25%. The breakdown is total balance $65,96.85 is in escrow accounts. The other is in the miscellaneous accessibility fees. So we should look at the possibility of moving that money into a better interest-bearing account. But here's what kind of strikes me. The sewer portion of the pooled cash is typically around $1.2 million. So we have approximately $1.2 million of sewer funds in the town checkbook that gets no interest or makes nothing for the commission. And I think that's a very large sum to be just sitting there doing nothing. So before we make any decisions on anything, especially the pooled cash, we would want to make sure that whatever we decide to do, we make sure we keep money available, funds available for immediate access for the projects that Mike has planned and bills are going to be coming due and need to be paid, plus the monthly accounts that Ellen has to settle. So I wouldn't, probably before we make a vote tonight on this pool cash, I think we would need to get some information on Mike's estimated costs that he's going to have needs for to pay bills before the end of 2016 based on the sewer projects, and an estimate from Ellen on what her monthly accounts are, and then we add some percentage in for a cushion. But I don't think we need to leave $1.2 million in cash in a town checking account. I don't have any, there's no distrust factor. I don't want that to be anybody's opinion. It's simply that it seems to be an awful lot of cash that's just sitting there doing nothing. So does either one of you commissioners have anything you'd like to state at this time or add to this?
Well, our annual budget is, I don't know, it's, what was it, about $1.5 million? So as we go through the year and we spend the $1.5 million, of course, we have money coming in, that all comes out of that 1.6 you're talking about? Is that where we get the money to operate, so to speak?
I don't have that answer for you because I didn't know what
Okay.
all the answers were this evening.
Okay.
Don Borer left a sheet, and it's in your packet tonight, states the following votes are needed to transfer sewer funds.
I actually didn't make copies for them.
Oh, that wasn't in their packet either?
No. That was just the votes that are required.
Well, you can have that one, because I already have a copy of it right here. You and Rob can take a look at it. I don't think we should make any moves this evening, per se.
Okay.
I think we should have more discussion on the matter. If our annual operating budget is $1.5 million, then maybe we shouldn't move any money. Maybe we should leave things as status quo. I just didn't know where we were in terms of our needs and what money is on deposit and where it's on deposit, Steve.
Okay. Well, I appreciate all the work you've done on that, and you've, come up with some interesting information. So what do you want to do? You want to report again at the next meeting, or do you think we should ask Dawn to attend our meeting, or?
I don't think
how would you
Don, I don't really think Don could offer much. I think the ball is in our court.
Okay.
At the very least, I think we need to look at the two accounts, the very first two accounts that have low-paying interest. We should move those into higher interest accounts. The pooled cash, I think that we should leave that alone until such a time as we have more information what direction we should.
Well, and I think we need to find out what needs to be liquid and what needs to come out of which of these three accounts, and how much, in order to gauge what sort of cushion we need. Also, with the new proposed account, are there any restrictions on liquidity?
Right, I'd have to get those questions answered
Yeah.
for you. I'd have to get the questions answered on the citizens account at 1/2 of 1% of interest. Is that a certificate of deposit and has to remain on deposit for any length of time? Or is it liquid money that's available and you would just forego any interest if you needed it in an emergency? So I'll get some more, I'll speak with the finance director
Okay.
and I can get back with the commission.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Tim. Okay. On the budget, traditionally what we do is we have a workshop over at the Public Works Department, usually during the day. Now, that doesn't mean we have to keep doing it that way, but we've done it that way for, I don't know, a real long time. It seems to work out fairly well. We get the, get the input from the Public Works Director as far as how our projects relate to his projects, so on and so forth. We usually spend, what do you think, Ellen, maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours tops, when we go through the budget?
Hour and a half tops, I think.
Yeah. So, my recommendation would be to do that, and also at the same time, we still have some unanswered questions on the sewer use ordinance. I think we're, Mike Trank, what do you think? We're like 90% of the way there, or with just-
Probably more than that. I think Paula has completed all of the revisions that you folks have. She's on vacation. She was out last week and this week, so I need to touch base with her to see exactly where things are at. But as far as I know, everything's complete, and unless there's significantly more revisions from your end, I think we're probably, 95% or better.
Well, I think
Other than, that doesn't include going to like a public hearing,
Right.
if you want to do that.
But I think there was a couple unanswered questions as far as how we were gonna handle the accessibility fee, if we were gonna switch from units to gallons. That was
Right.
one question that has to be decided.
That's not strictly sewer use ordinance, though.
So we can approve the ordinance and then have the rate sheet as an attachment to the ordinance.
Does it make sense to just tackle those three at the workshop? The budget, the sewer use ordinance, and the accessibility fee?
Yeah, I don't see why, this, the budget, this is gonna be our first bite at the apple, so to speak, and then as we go through, there's probably gonna be a few changes here and there that, there usually is, but I guess, have you turned a draft in yet, or, and when's the draft due?
I think we have until next week or the week after. Sue's been on vacation, so I think we have another couple of weeks. And I can even submit what
Yeah.
we have there, which is very much as we've had in the past. It doesn't have a total because of the way it's gone into Munis this year, but Evelyn suggested that our projections be a standalone module anyway, not a module, but our budget should not be included in the town's operating budget. Because our numbers, inflate the whole budget. And in her opinion, we could have our own budget as an enterprise fund, and then we could see it the way it should be seen in Munis.
Well, usually the way it works is when the budget's done, there's the town budget, and then there's the enterprises fund, there's the sewer enterprise fund, and
Right.
maybe there's another enterprise fund, I'm not sure. But it's always sort of been separate, but involved, it's in the same warrant article, so to speak.
But it's broken out.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's just the software that I'm referring to. It's
Okay.
not really a change in
Yeah.
in the way we do it, yeah. So,
It's just the way it prints out. See,
Right,
if you
it's
look
just-
at the last page, there's no totals to it because it keeps going and it keeps adding it to the towns and, but if you look at the very last page, you'll see what it just keeps going. It doesn't end
Yeah,
at
it
the
would be
sewer.
whatever the
Right.
town's budget is, so.
So just, basically you say we should have our own module
Right, we should
in
have our
Munis?
own
Yeah, that-
standalone
yeah,
able
yeah,
to
that
print it,
makes
so
sense.
it's just
Okay,
ours. Yeah,
okay, that makes sense.
yeah. That would include our revenue too, our projected revenue.
Any suggestions for when people would be available? I'm pretty much available all the time.
Except if you're in Tilton.
Well, I'm going back.
Stuck in it.
I'm going next week for the whole week.
Yeah, we changed it to today anyway, because you and I are gone next week.
And if having it during the day doesn't work out, we can, if it's, people just can't make it during the day, we can always, we can change that to 6 o'clock. That's open for discussion. Any dates?
So we want to look at the week of the 22nd, is that the
Sure.
Wednesday, the 24th?
Okay. Does that work for you, Tim?
Yeah, but I can't do a daytime meeting. It'll have to be either late after,
Okay, what day of the week is that?
So Wednesday.
Wednesday.
I could do Thursday, if that's easier.
Would this room be available, do you know?
Probably in the, at 6
Yeah.
on Thursday.
We'll just do it at 6 like we normally do.
what date would that be?
The 24th, it's a Wednesday
Great.
Of August.
of August.
I believe we don't have a planning board meeting that Thursday night. I think we have an open night, so I don't believe planning is going to meet that night.
Okay, I'd have to look at the calendar.
They don't meet Thursdays, they meet a different night of the week.
I thought they met Wednesdays.
You might.
I'll have to look at the calendar and see. 'Cause your preference is evening, right?
Yeah, I don't want anybody missing work, you know what I mean?
Is Thursday better, or does it not matter?
Makes no difference
Doesn't
to
matter to
me.
me. Wednesday, Thursday, either one's fine with me.
Okay, 24th or 25th?
Find out what room, when it's the room's available.
And that's just a workshop, no,
Right. Budget, accessibility fee, and the ordinance.
yep, and then when we have the, at the next meeting, we'll vote on whatever we decided. If we decide anything. Okay,
You're going to let us know when it's decided on?
I will.
Email, thank you.
Mike Trank, do you have anything for us?
One thing, you had asked for a proposal to kind of reevaluate the sewer use, the sewer user rates, a sufficiency analysis. I do have a draft proposal together. I did realize going through my files that I never actually got a written proposal from PRMG. I just got a verbal from Murray. And so I want something in writing from him. So I sent them an email, and he's going to get me a proposal. So once I get their proposal, I will finalize our proposal to you.
Right, well, we weren't gonna kick that off until the first of the year.
I understand.
Okay.
Yep.
Anything from the highway department? Give us, how'd the pre-construction meeting go for College Road?
It went pretty well. They're going to have a meeting, I think it's Monday night, next week, meet the neighborhood. They have a neighborhood meeting for reconstruction.
Yep.
So they're gonna have a meeting, they invited Park, Waterworks. Waterworks are gonna extend the water main and get rid of the private system there. So hopefully they're gonna go in first, then Park will go in second.
Then
'Cause
Liberty.
Park's got other places to do in town anyway, so. The DBW is gonna reclamate the road prior to construction, remove the asphalt, reclamate it, so there'll be no paving involved in that part of the contract. So Manson Water and Sewer won't be paying for any paving there. And hopefully in a couple of weeks, Park will be in town.
I think Mark Norby thought it was only gonna take a couple days. for the-
2 to 3 days for Glen Ridge and probably a little bit more in College, just longer.
That's what Earth thought too.
Yeah.
What are we doing on Glen Ridge? We're connecting, picking off where we left off before?
Going up the
Skipping
hill
a
more.
piece. We're skipping a little run, then we're going into the flat part of Glen Ridge. But we've always had problems for many, many years.
Mike, when and where is the public informational meeting?
Down in Glen Ridge.
It'd be Glen
Adam
Ridge.
usually sets up a tent and invites the neighbors type
Do we know when it is yet?
when, Monday.
Monday night, I think.
15.
Monday afternoon, 6 or something.
You didn't get an invite?
I want a personal one, handwritten.
Okay.
Monday night, August 15th at 6 PM at the intersection of Elmwood and Glen Ridge.
Thank you.
If you got Wi-Fi down here, that would have been quicker.
So Mike, what's gonna happen if Park goes in ahead of the waterworks? Is it gonna create trouble?
And they
won't.
won't because,
Because the park wants water in there first.
well, that and we don't know, nobody knows, not even water, where the private water line runs. So we don't want to start digging and hit it and then,
Have to
Deal with that
restore it.
issue. Yeah, deal with that issue, so.
And what about, did you review all their numbers all met your criterion
Yeah.
for all the calculations, including
Yeah, I did
ledge and
that-
everything
I
else?
did that before we signed the contract.
Obviously, I'm just saying you were satisfied with everything?
I think we did pretty well with that. It came in 50,000 under budget, or under the estimate, and the number of bids was pretty small.
As small as you can get.
Yeah. Does anybody have anything else? Okay, I'm gonna make a motion to go into non-public session under RSA 91-A:3 II, Section D, Land and Real Estate. I'll entertain a motion. I made the motion. Second?
Second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.